All right. Encounter 3. Back to the village of Harken, the blue block. I can never say that. Blue box starter set. Encounter number 3, leader of the pack, the final encounter. And this one looks pretty interesting. So, currently, what we have going on here is our heroes have found themselves in another chamber. And in this chamber, there is a demon statue, some old statue of an ancient forgotten demon. Not recognizable, just kind of some old ancient demon, maybe some forgotten ancient god or something like that, or just a demon that these people worship. Looks like there's some blood stains all around this thing. So maybe these goblins have been doing some sort of a sacrifice. Actually, I should say these are hobgoblins. In the center of the room, well, sort of center of the room, there is a pit, a 10-foot deep pit. And at the other end of the room, there is a caged dire wolf. And you obviously can see off to the right of the dire wolf, there is a lever there, which obviously is going to be something to activate the cage, open the cage, and let the fierce dire wolf beast out. Also in here, too, we see a whole bunch of hobgoblins and some wolves. They got hobgoblin grunts, like 4 of them, and they are minions. And then we also have a hobgoblin warcaster. So should be a pretty interesting encounter. We'll see how this all plays out, and we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and move on into a surprise round. It's going to be kind of difficult. That dire wolf has a perception of 19, but I'm going to rule this a little bit. I mean, the wolf is in the cage, so if he becomes aware of our adventurers, I would say he's probably just going to like growl and do all sorts of things, which will draw more attention to him, I think, at the moment before they look back to see the adventurers. Or I don't know, maybe the wolf has some sort of a growl it does that the warcaster knows. But let's give it a shot. Let's do some rolls and see if we get a surprise round for the adventurers this time. The last 2 encounters we haven't had any surprise rounds. Partly on poor Perrin. He's got no stealth. He's a typical cleric, so. Let's first off start out by rolling some initiative and see what kind of order we get. Ooh, Andor gets to start off first. Look at that. Perrin sitting down at the bottom. Not too bad. We'll see how this all rolls out. Actually, the hobgoblin grunt seems to go first. But let's check on our surprise round. So let's do a stealth roll for Andor. And we're going to be taking these against the hobgoblin warcaster's passive perception of 12, the hobgoblin grunts, as in plural, their passive perception of 12, and the gray wolf's passive perception at 17, and the dire wolf's passive perception at 19. So that's what we're rolling against. +9 for Andor. Let's see what he gets. First roll of the day. And he gets a 17. Oh, it's kind of already alert. 17 is not enough to get past the passive perception on the gray wolf. Let's keep rolling and see what happens. Harbrek has got a +1 on his. And Harbrek rolls great. 20. He even surpassed the dire wolf. So let's try Mira with her +2. Ooh, she's got a 13. Yep, she's going to alert the gray wolf too. And let's try Perrin with his +0. This could just kill everything. Ooh, he gets a 19. Look at that. Perrin decides to step up at the last encounter in the last chamber here. All right, so he did meet the passive perception. So our lowest one here at the moment is it Andor? No, it's actually Mira at her 13. So the gray wolf is going. and the direwolf are both going to be they're going to both be not they're not going to allow a surprise round. But now with the initiative set up, the gray wolf is down a little bit, but the dire wolf is right up there by it. So I guess at this point, I think with the wolves being able to sense that the adventurers are coming in and sense that they are not their standard hobgoblin leaders or masters or whatever you want to call them. They are going to be, get snarling or doing something. The dire wolf in the cage is probably going to be going crazy a little bit, wanting to get out of the cage. The hobgoblins turn around, look out like, what? And then, with the gray wolf sneering back at the entrance, I think that they'll probably prepare for battle. So I'm going to say we don't get a surprise round this round too. We could have done it to where, ahead of the gray wolf, only Andor got a surprise round in there to act before anybody else, but I think he's high enough on there. I'm just going to go ahead and kill the surprise round this round also and just leave it at there. The dice did not roll well, and the wolves are, they're aware. So let's go ahead and move into initiative order, starting off with the I'm never going to be able to pronounce this today. Hobgoblin Grunt number 3. He is in the back here. He does have a speed of 6, and what he is going to do, let's have him move up, because he's got this this trait. I can't pronounce that. Fanlax soldier, Fallax. Anyway, while at least one hobgoblin ally is adjacent to the grunt, it gains a +2 bonus to AC. So let's get him in let's move him up 6. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to get there adjacent to his ally. And let's have him ready his longsword attack. So let me put that on there. He's going to ready an attack. I'll add that on here also. And that will end on start of Source's next turn. Okay, I'll put that on there. He's going to ready his longsword attack against anybody that comes in, and then he also gains a +2 bonus to AC while he's adjacent. So we'll just remember that with his trait there. He doesn't have anything else besides his hobgoblin resilience. The grunt is subject to, let's see, the effect is its immediate reaction. The grunt is subject to an effect that a save can end. That grunt makes a saving throw against the triggered effect immediately. Well, actually, as a reaction. Not an interrupt, but a reaction. So, all right, let's move on from there. That's the Hobgoblin number 3's turn. Now it's Andor's turn. What do we want Andor to do? He obviously he gets his first strike. For at the start of every encounter, you have combat advantage against any creature that you have not yet acted in that encounter. You know what I'm going to have Andor do? I think I'm going to have him get right up in there into the face of that Warcaster. That Warcaster is pretty far down there in initiative, but let's give this a try. Andor has only got 2 more healing surges. Oh, I didn't update those real quick. I better do that. He's 2 of 7 right now, so let's take his surges off. He's used quite a bit. He's used 5 of those things. And then his hit points are at 21 currently, so he needs to take 4 off there. So let's take 4 damage. He's 21 or 25. Harbrick I'm sorry, he's 23 of 25, so we need to add another 2 back on. Harbrick is currently at 28 of 31, so let's take off the 3 damage there. And he has 10 of his 11, so he's used 2 there. Mira is at full health, but she has 5 of 7 on her healing surges. And Perrin is at 21 of 26, so we need to take 5 off of there. And he has 7 of 9 healing. So there we go. Now we got him current with the current situation. And let's go ahead. I think I'm going to do this. I think I'll do it. So he's got a speed of 6. What he's going to attempt to do is he'll move 1, 2, that's 2 spaces, and then he's going to try to jump the pit and land right there and get an attack on, or maybe do I want him to jump across over to here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, kind of a crossway here across the pit, so that he doesn't take an opportunity attack from the wolf. Because I figured if he came across this way, once he was in the air there, coming down for his landing, he could get an opportunity attack. But he does have a pretty good, thing against opportunity attacks. So let's put him in right there. And let's try that. So let's see the rules on. So he's going to have to attempt to jump this pit with a running start. He needs DC 11. Which he has a DC 11 on athletics, and he already has, he's got acrobatics of plus 11. Oh, so athletics would be, let's look it up here. Yeah, maybe this might not be a good idea. I mean, it would be really cool and everything. It's a strength base, so he only gets a plus 1. I was thinking acrobatics. I don't know why I couldn't use acrobatics to jump. To jump over that pit instead of athletics. I mean, athletics is there, but acrobatics, let's look it up. Let's look it up and see what it says. Because that would definitely be something I would think that would be able to do it. Escape from restrain, balances, hop down, reduce falling damage, improvising with acrobatics, slide down a staircase. I mean, why couldn't he be doing some sort of acrobatics to where he is actually coming and then bouncing off the statue to land in his spot here or something, I'm thinking that sounds reasonable. Let's do it. I'm going to up, if he's going to use acrobatics, I think I am going to up it to where he's going to have to jump off the statue and then land over here, kind of push on and off, do this acrobatics thing there, but then he's going to take an opportunity attack from the grunt there and then possibly land there, but he won't take his opportunity attack from the wolf. Let's give it a try. So he'll go here. When he comes up to the statue here to kind of bounce off of it to land there, let's make an opportunity attack from the grunt. Number 1, the hobgoblin grunt, number 1 on Andor, see what happens. And let's make that a DC 13 on the athletics. So, or acrobatics for Andor to do that. So here we go. Let's do that roll first. He's easily done. Oh man, he teach. What's that shift difference? 29 to 13. Oh my goodness. That's 16 shifts. I mean, he doubled it. So he's performing this quite well. So he's going to be able to make it, but we'll leave him right there for the moment. And Hobgoblin Grunt #1 is going to make his longsword attack +8 against Andor, whose AC now is going to also have an additional +5. So he is at 22. And that will be a miss. So let's put Andor right there. He ends his move action through his acrobatic movement all the way across and places himself right in there. I can just picture the other heroes in here kind of like shaking their heads, just going like, "Oh, there he goes again," and he's off. So let's see what we want Andor to do when he gets there. I'm thinking what would be really cool is a positioning strike and just throw the the okay. Also keep in mind too, they do have their daily powers available still. They haven't used any of those, nor have they used any action points. So we're looking pretty good what we want to do. But what I'm trying to think here is maybe do we want to do a positioning strike to where he can hit him and then he can slide the target 3 squares? Maybe slide that Warcaster down into the pit to take some extra damage. Maybe not get him to get his any sort of things going off at the moment, or any sort of whatever nastiness the Warcaster could do. What else do we got? I mean, his daily power is Trick Strike, and you can slide the target 1 square. He does some pretty killer damage on that. He's also going to get his 2d8. Or do we want to focus upon the Grey Wolf? Grey Wolf doesn't have much. He's a pretty big. Just doesn't have as much hit point as the Warcaster, and I think the Warcaster can cause some more damage and stuff. And I wonder too about that slide. Okay, so let's look up Force Terrain real quick. We're getting into a lot of things here. Catching oneself when you're trying to force somebody down into a pit. If a target is forced over a precipice or into a hindering terrain such as lava or a pit, or a target can immediately make a saving throw. Okay, so with that verbiage there, the Warcaster, the Hobgoblin is subject to an effect that a save can end. Okay, that's not a save to end, it's actually a save to avoid. If the fall is prone, immediately make a saving throw to avoid going over the edge and entering into the train. So if you could slide him into the pit, this is not a save ends. This is a save to be able to fall prone. So it's not a save ends. So I don't figure that Hobgoblin resilience would come into effect there. So let's do it. Let's use his positioning strike right away. He is going to be doing a +9. Well, he's got combat advantage too. I keep forgetting about that. With the combat advantage, he gets a +2 to his attack roll. So, in addition to that, he's going to get a +9 because of his first strike. He have combat advantage against any creature that has not yet acted. So, and then also with his sneak attack, he's able, when he has combat advantage, he's able to get that extra, those D8s. So this could be pretty intense. So he's going to have a +11 versus the will of this Warcaster, which his will is at 15, almost his lowest one. Fortitude is the lowest, but let's see what happens. You never know. Those natural one could come out, or that critical strike could come out. Let's find out. All right, so Andor attacking with his +11 for positioning strike against the Warcaster of his will versus will of 15. Is that 12? Oh, it's a 23 anyway. 12 or 11, I guess it doesn't really matter. That's going to hit. Okay, so let's do the damage of 1d4 plus 5. Good hit, by the way. And the 2d8 for the sneak attack damage. Not the best damage, but enough. Let's go ahead and put the 11 damage onto the Warcaster. Crazy little halfling comes jumping out, and he's going to slide him 3 squares. So 1, 2. He's going to try to slide him into the pit. So at this point, with forced movement, the hobgoblin is going to try to catch himself. He does not have anything else that helps him against saving throws. If I look right, no traits, no trigger dice. It's not a save ends. It's just a save to see if he's going to fall prone before he falls in the pit and takes an extra D10 damage. And then he's going to have to figure out how to climb out too. Anyway, let's go ahead and roll that save. It's just a straight D20. And with the save, if it's 1 to 9, he fails the save. 10 to 20, he succeeds at the save. Here we go. And he's going to succeed. Okay, that's good. So, let's say the movement, because he kind of moved him like 1, 2. He could say 1, 2, 3, slide him in there. So let's put the Warcaster. I'm going to say we'll put him out here. He saves and he's here. Or maybe we should I'll put him right there. So he basically made a save by 1 or 2, 10 or 11. He made it by 2. It falls prone in the last square it occupied. So it can't occupy the square of the wolf. So it can go through the square, but it can't occupy it. So we'll say he basically falls prone there. So with that, he is prone. And let's put that on the Warcaster. And basically that'll be a prone that, till he stands up or whatever. It doesn't have like a save ends or anything. So I'm going to call this a special. Andor did it to the hobgoblin. Save end, special, permanent, sustained. I'm just going to call it special. Okay, so that hobgoblin is prone now. With the prone, he does take, that is a condition. He takes a -2 to attack rolls, but he does have a +2 to all defenses. So we'll play it at that. Not bad with Andor. You know what? He could, as a minor action, he can activate his repulsion armor. An enemy moves into an adjacent square to him. Push that enemy 1 square. As an immediate reaction, this power lasts until the end of the encounter. What a better time to do this. We're going to do this. As a minor action, he is going to activate his magical armor, his repulsion leather armor, and that is a daily too. Let's use that. That way, anybody tries to come after him, he just slides them. He slides them 1 square away. Is that what it's square? He pushes them. So it just has to be 1 square away from him. Now, the question is, when he activates that, an enemy moves into an adjacent square. But what happens if the enemy's already in adjacent square? I don't think that would count, that the armor starting up there, because the enemy didn't move into the square. If the wolf shift back and then back over, maybe. Let's go ahead and do that. And his repulsion armor, we're just going to remember that on there for his daily. It doesn't have to sustain or anything. It just lasts until the end of the encounter. So I'm going to add this on to Andor, and we'll call it repulsion, right? armor. And that is going to sustain. I'm going to say permanent. It's going to stay on there permanent for him the whole time. Because it lasts until the end of the encounter. Unless there's something on there that says end of the encounter. No, I'm just going to say permanent. He's got his repulsion armor, and he will push him. So I'm going to add that on there. Just to remind me. Oop. Did I spell that right? Repollution. Repulsion. Okay. All right. Excellent. Nice little turn there by Andor, starting it all up. The question is, does he want to throw out an action point to maybe get a strike upon this wolf while he's out there? He could do a death strike to where he could move 2 squares. Or he's got his sly flourish. That's one that does pretty good damage. He doesn't have anything to move anything. You know what? I wonder. His repulsion armor is hit by an attack. I mean, he's back here already with all this stuff. He needs to get it like a better position. Do we want him to do that? Let's hold off. Let's hold off and see what happens. I don't want to throw out that action point yet. I mean, it would be great. I think I'd rather have it. Well, I guess if he does it, he still gets his 2d8s because the wolf has not acted yet. Even the dire wolf is next. But the gray wolf will get a chance to act. So with that, gosh, do I want to do that right now? You just never know how those things can go. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to action point it up. Use that action point. We are going to do a sly flourish attack from Andor. Man, he's just rocking it out here. Hope he hits with this. He's going to do a sly flourish against the gray wolf. It's going to be a +9 versus AC. The gray wolf has a 16. And he's got combat advantage again, so that's going to be his +11. All right, so +11 versus the Grey Wolf's armor class of 16. Oh, did he hit? Yes. Oh, no, he didn't. He missed it. Ooh, Andor got a little bit too greedy there. He missed it by 2. Got that. And that's against AC. Does he have anything? No, he doesn't have it. If he's hit by an attack, he's got a triggered reaction. Action pointed. We wasted it. We wasted it. All right. Well, that's just the way the dice roll sometimes, you know. You roll those 3s, it doesn't happen all the time. That kind of hurts. We could have used that extra damage sitting on that wolf at that time. That's going to do it for Andor. There's nothing else he's done. He's used all his actions, his allotment of actions. So let's move on from there. Dire Wolf number 1. He does have a claw that's got a range 2, but Andor is out of range. If he would have moved down here, yeah, he could have got clawed through the cage at him. I probably would have given him like a +2 to his defense for the dire wolf, like reaching through the cage. But no, I think the dire wolf is kind of stuck there. And we'll just leave him there. He's got nothing else he can really do until they let him out. Hobgoblin number 2. I think he's going to move into a positioning 2 to ready an attack. Because he needs his buddy to get up there too. So Hobgoblin number 2 will have him shift over here. And let's have him ready his attack also. That's going to be a long sword attack, just in case. Let's add that onto it. That will be the start of his next turn. All right. That way, number 4, when he gets up there, he can actually get into some, help them get that +2 bonus to AC. And we'll leave him at that. Hobgoblin number 1. He's liking where he's at too, so he's going to ready an attack also. They are just like setting up attacks, waiting for someone to come in. Ready attack. That would be the start of his next turn. Oh, forgot to make that beneficial. Like that word, beneficial. All right. Gray Wolf. All right. What does that Gray Wolf want to do? Okay, he can only bite. So let's have him go ahead and do his bite against Andor right now. That is going to be a +7. And then if the target falls prone, if the wolf has combat advantage against it, it does not have combat advantage against Andor, so it's just going to be a straight bite. But there's an effect the wolf can shift 4 squares. Ooh, that's nasty. Let's see what happens. Okay, this is going to be a +7 versus Andor's AC of 17. That's going to hit. With a 19, 1d6 plus 5. Oh, minimum damage. 6 damage on Andor. Okay, that's still 6. Andor's down to 17 hit points. 17 out of 25. Okay, and with that, the target is not prone, so it is not a prone hit. The wolf does not have combat advantage against the target, so it is just a standard hit, and the target falls prone if the wolf has combat advantage against it. Didn't have it, doesn't fall prone. But the wolf can shift up to 4 squares. Now a shift, if I remember correctly, does not allow combat, not an opportunity attack. Let's look it up real quick. No opportunity attacks triggered unless it's described on the effect. So Andor does not have anything that will go against it. But we need to keep in mind, if this gray wolf moves, what does his repulsion armor say? An enemy moves into an adjacent square. So if this wolf moves down here, it is now going to activate the repulsion armor. So let's say the wolf, which way do we want him to shift? He kind of wants to get around Andor, but he can shift 4 squares. So let's say the first one to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Or do we want him to go 1, because what do we really want this wolf to do? I mean, if he gets into combat advantage, I think he was going to try to get around on a flank somehow. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put him over there to see if he's kind of circling around to see if he can get into Andor. Even though if he jumps up in there, it's going to get pushed. So let's play it out and see how it goes that way. On to Harbrek. All right, Harbrek. I mean, he can come in over here, but he's going to take 2 ready-to-action attacks. But you know what? He could cleave and he could knock both those guys out with one shot. Let's take it. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Harbrick, he does not have anything against opportunity attacks, if I remember correctly. He's just got things from forced movement, marking, and going from there. So he hit with a weapon. Oh, he's got a resounding weapon too. The target is dazed until then. We'll save that one. All right, let's do it. I'm going to bring Harbrick into here. He's first of all going to take two opportunity attacks, or readied action attacks, I should say. Let me look this up here, because I think it happens right away. Yeah, so they readied the action when someone moves into melee with them. So let's do two opportunity attacks, starting off with goblin number 3, grunt number 3. +8 versus AC. Ooh. These hobgoblins are kind of nasty. Harbrick's AC is at 18. That is a miss. Haha. So let's go ahead and take off his ready to action. That didn't happen. Hobgoblin number 3. Let's remove it. He took that away. Hobgoblin number 1. Hobgoblin grunt number 1. Same roll. 17. Oh, that's going to be enough to hit. Okay. So he automatically just does 5 damage on Harbrick. Auto 5 for Hobgoblin number 1. That is, he's way down here. Let's go ahead and remove his readied action, and we'll move it on here. Whoops, type in too many things here. Mouse clicking too many things. And then Harbrick is obviously going to get his cleave attack. Let's do it. All right, +7. He doesn't have combat advantage or anything. He's just straight cleave +7 versus AC of 19. Oh, those grunts are high. Okay, come on, Harbrick. That's gonna be a hit. Yes. So obviously it's a minion, so it's going to die. But let's go ahead and roll some damage just for the sake of rolling it. 2d6 + 4. Oh, minimum damage too. All right, so our first casualties of the day. The hit was upon 3, and then cleaving into number 1. So we're going to go 6 damage on number 3. That is going to send him to the graveyard. Goodbye. And then with that, he will cleave into number 1 with 3 damage. And that will send him into the graveyard. 1 and 3 are out of the game. They are dead. All right, Harbrick. I think he's okay at the moment. Nothing else minor. He can't really mark anybody because he's at 23 of 31, so he's okay. Nothing really else he can do at the moment. No minors. He doesn't need the second wind at the moment. Let's see where it goes from there. We'll leave Harbrick there because Mira is up next. And Mira likes to always do some crazy stuff. So what I'm thinking I would like Mira to do is cast Sleep. It's going to be an area burst 2 within 20. Let's see how she can place this. Let's get a prop out here. We'll make Sleep will be blue, kind of ice, sleepy. Area burst 2. is going to look like that. So she can actually, oh, she can't quite get everybody in there. But she is going to place it just like that. I think upon on the dire wolf and the gray wolf to see if she can get him slowed and then possibly unconscious. All right. That's going to be her daily. Let's do it. Let's have her do area burst 2, each creature in the burst, +5 versus will. Okay, so she'll make her first attack. We'll say first attack goes against the gray wolf. Its will is 13. Oh, just rolled off that and missed it by 1. But she does have her wand of accuracy, so let's go ahead and use that to make that hit. Okay. And so that's going to add 2 to it to make it a 14, which will hit the gray wolf. And then let's do the dire wolf, who has a 16, same exact roll. Hopefully we roll better than that. We do have her heroic effort. Let's find out what happens. Oh, almost on that 20. You see that 20 roll over? All right, that's going to be a hit. On to the, both wolves are going to be hit by sleep. Now they are both hit and they're slowed. Save ends. That's not bad. Let's add slowed on here. I'll put that on here. Slowed. And it's going to be a save ends from Mira and the dire wolf. Let's add it on there. Slowed. Save ends. Okay, so what she's trying to do here, she's used up her sleep and her wand of accuracy. She's going to try to hopefully get them to fail the next one, and then the targets fall unconscious instead with save ends. She didn't miss, because then it would just be slowed. Okay, with slowed, that condition there, they basically, their speed becomes 2. Well, the dire wolf's obviously in the cage, but it can still move around in the cage a little bit. Let me take the zone away. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. Because that area doesn't sustain it, just a burst. It just happens and goes away. I mean, the wolf could move around in his cage, you know. He's kind of stuck in there right now, poor guy, waiting, trying to get out, snarling. Now he's feeling a little bit groggy from the sleep that just came over him. He's slowed right now. Now, Mira does have some minors, and she still has her move. Oh, she's got her wonderful magical missile. Yeah. We'll leave that for now. That's her staff of magic missile, to where she can target 1 or 2 creatures with the attack. Use this power when you cast magic missile. Okay, magic missile targets 1 person. Target 1 or 2 creatures with the attack. No target can be more than 5 squares away. Okay, so she can hit another creature with it within 5 squares of it. That's not bad. But magic missile obviously is a standard, which she's used her standard with her sleep already. You know, maybe we want her to get into the room and separate a little bit. So we'll have her, she's got a speed of 6, go 1, 2, 3, 4. Get back behind the tank for the moment. And then what we're going to do, I think, is have, let's see, anything else Mira can do? Nothing really at the moment. All right. I think we'll just do that. Nothing else really minor's going on. She only has her light and mage hand, but we don't really do that, you know. Let's go ahead and go on to grunt number 4. I figure at this point, the warcaster is going to call out a command. Him being the leader that he is, he's going to call out the command to number 4 to move over and throw the latch. Now, throwing the latch is a standard action, so that's going to take up the goblin's standard action to throw that lever, and then it takes 1 round to open up. So I'm going to put on here, on the hobgoblin, cage opens at the start of his next turn. And this is definitely going to be beneficial to him. Okay, so he throws the latch. The cage starts beginning to open. The direwolf, he's slowed, but he's still like, yeah, get me out there. And that'll be the things that hobgoblin can do. And then we'll go on to the warcaster. What does the warcaster? He doesn't like that halfling. I think he's going to try to do something to him. Okay, because he's arranged away. I think after, he's prone at the moment. Okay, so what we'll have to do, let's have him use his move action to stand up, because I think it is a move action to stand up. Let me just double check. Yep, move action to stand up. And then he's going to use his standard force lure. Basically, it's rechargeable to where he's going to use that on Andor, because Andor tried to slide him into the pit, so he's going to try to return the favor. He's going to do force lure on Andor, ranged 5, 1 creature. He's only 2 away. +7 versus fortitude, and then 2d6 + 10 force damage, and the hobgoblin slides the target up to 3 squares. Woo! Okay. +7 here. Let's see. Andor has his fortitude of 11. Oh no, this could be bad. Ooh, that's going to hit. Yes, it does. Hits by 4. Oh, goodness, Andor. 2d6 + 10. Oh, this is going to hurt. That's 17 damage on Andor. Ooh, goodness. That's going to drop him. Oh, that drops him unconscious. Now I'm going to keep his repulsion armor on there, and I'm just going to add, dying. So now with Andor out unconscious and dying, because also a part of this forced lure, he slides him 3 squares. So I'm going to say he slides him into the pit, and Andor does not get a saving throw against that because he's unconscious. But he is going to fall in the pit and take an extra d10 damage. Oh, goodness. Roll low. Oh, that's good. Only 1. Oh, my goodness. So Andor is in a hurting way here. He is dying, and he's now at -1 hit points. Well, the Piper's coming calling. He's just been kind of running out there doing his thing. But, that it is what it is. Let's take the prone off of here. Let's remove that for the War Goblin. Andor is now unconscious and dying. I got to look up the dying rules now. Nothing else we can do, but the Hobgoblin kind of snickering and chuckling, being able to return the favor to that halfling tenfold, slides him into the into the pit as he clunks to the ground. Luckily, he kind of braces his fall unconsciously and only takes 1 damage. That was a lucky roll. Could have been so much worse. All right. So, no other minors, no triggered reactions, no saves. Okay, so let's move on. Perrin's up next. Obviously, Perrin is going to get some healing happening for this. So, now we got to remember, Andor is 2 squares down. So, but if we go diagonal, it still is within 5. I think we're going to have to try to get a healing strike upon there to try to get some healing on Andor to get him back up at least. And then maybe even a healing word. Use up Andor's last 2 healing surges. But let's give it a try. I mean, he's got a burst 5, which he could take an opportunity attack if he misses. We got to do it. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of move him in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or actually, I guess he could 1, 2, 3. Get into there, and then he is going to healing strike onto Hobgoblin number 2, unless there's something else we can do. I mean, he could do his Beacon of Hope. Close burst 3, each enemy in the burst. Oh, he could get both the War Priest, and the target is weakened until the end of its next turn. Oh, that could be good. And then you and each ally in the burst regain 5 hit points until the end of the encounter. Whenever you restore hit points with a healing power, the recipient gains 5 additional hit points. Ooh, plus he gets a +3. But they don't do any damage with the beacon. But let's see what that close burst 3 looks like. What's a good healing color? I guess it's kind of green, but that's more necrotic. Could be yellow, would be healing, but I don't have one. Let's put pink. Always a big fan of pink, but okay. So, oh my goodness, that 1, 2, 3. Oh, too far. There we go. So, so close. It doesn't quite get. That is a close burst 3. Each enemy in there still is just going to be that there. Let me see what weaken says it does. I wonder if that's a condition that can take care of minions. It does half damage. It deals are not affected. However, ongoing damage and damage isn't generated. Okay, do we want to do that? You know, it's just, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like I need to get the healing strike first. So we'll save that one for there. Let's do the healing strike. I've already marked it off. No, I haven't yet. Okay, let's do that. Let's give it a shot, and hopefully he can get a good roll here. I mean, he's got a +3, but this grunts, they got AC of 19. He's got to get a good roll. I wonder if there's a different way to do this. We're trying to do it. Man, those things are really, those hobgoblin grunts are really, really strong, but they are a level 3 minion. That's why. If we don't hit, I mean, we're going to be wasting a big shot on there. Let me try something different. 1, 2, 3. And then from that point first, let's have Perrin. This way he can get Andor back up. Do a healing word. Let's put his healing stripe back on. Oh, charge. Let's use a healing word. And basically, his healing word number 1, close bursts 5. That's pretty big. You or one ally in the burst. The target can spend a healing surge and regain 1d6 extra hit points. Plus, he gets a +3. So, Mr. Andor, he's going to use a healing surge unconsciously, which his surge value is 6. He's going to add healing on there. Gets him up to 6 hit points. He is no longer dying. He still does have his repulsion armor. He is now conscious again. Yay. And then he's going to get from Perrin the extra 1d6 +3. Come on, big roll. That's good. Another 8 hit points on top of there. That was a good one. Oops, wrong way. Andor healing. Oh, gets him up to 14. He's no longer bloodied. Woohoo! Okay, then I think we'll have Perrin just do a gosh, he wants to save his critical hit. And Andor should have no problem climbing up out of that pit. Everything is +4 against reflex. Lance of Faith. Someone gets a +2 there, a power bonus that he can see. Makes a saving throw and gains temporary hit points. I think we're just going to do a Lance of Faith, unless 4 against Fortitude. Yeah, that Hobgoblin's Grunt's lowest is Will. Fortitude's pretty high too. But then the reflex is pretty low also at 16. Let's go ahead and just do a Lance of Faith after that upon the Grunt number 2, who's got a ready to action. I keep forgetting too, if he moves into there, he's going to take that ready to action from the Grunt. So I think he's okay from where he's at. So let's do the Lance of Faith. +4 versus reflex of the Grunt's reflex. Number 2's reflex is 16. Come on, Perrin. Oh, that's not going to be enough. So the hit doesn't happen. I wonder. I keep going over this. When he misses, I wonder if the wording is and one ally you can see gets a +2 bonus. So the damage happens, but the hit didn't happen. I don't know. I'm going to have to research it more and find out if the wording past the hit still happens, because it says and 1d8 +4 radiant damage and one ally you can see gains, well, but it's got to hit, right? So it doesn't happen if it doesn't hit. We could have Perrin action point. So I'm going to rule that as a +2 bonus does not get added on there because it didn't get hit. Now the next question is, what do we want Perrin to do? I mean, he could now pull out his Beacon of Hope daily and do his Close Burst 3 to where he weakens. And then everybody in the burst gains, if he's there too. Let's go put that back up because I had him move differently now. Let's put the Close Burst 5. When he goes there, that Close Burst 5. Oh, I'm sorry, 5, right? Sorry, Close Burst 3. That's it. That's a 3 right there. Each ally in the burst gains 5 hit points. That will actually give everybody 5 hit points. The target is weakened until the end of the turn. You and each ally. Okay, so everybody would get 5 hit points. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, that was a standard. He already did it, but we could have him action point. All right, let's do it. Let's use it. Action point out. There's his burst. His pink burst. That's kind of funny. And we'll have him burst out. And he is going to do, first of all, a +4 will attack against the Hobgoblin Grunt number 2. That will be, let me mark that off too. Where's that daily? Beacon of Hope. Use it. +4. And that's going to go against Will of Hobgoblin number 2's 15. Come on, big roll. Ooh, do we get him? Yes, we did by 1. And let's go against the Warcaster. Same roll. The Warcaster's 15 also. And we didn't get him. But that current number 2, let's go ahead and add weakened. He is weakened. And when does that happen till? End of its next turn. Okay. Target is weakened until the end of its next turn. So Goblin number 2, we're going to add weakened. End of target's next turn. Okay, and weakened, it just does half damage with anything. Not bad. Good job, Perrin, so to say. And let's do the second effect. And each ally in the burst regains 5 hit points. They actually gained 8 hit points because of his healing lore. Until the end of the encounter, whenever you restore hit points with a healing power, the recipient gains 5 additional hit points. Woohoo! So everybody's going to gain 8. Let's start with Andor, 8 healing. Harbrick, 8 healing. Mira, 8 healing. Up to full. Perrin, 8 healing up to full. Everybody is up to full except for Andor. He's down by 3, but that's still good. That works. Okay, so we got to remember that. Now, I'll put that Perrin on there. I'll just put Beacon on there to remind me that Beacon +5. Oops, not +54. That would be nice. And then I'm going to add on here Perrin, Beacon +5, and this is going to be permanent, and it's beneficial. Okay. Not a bad turn there, Andor. Let's get rid of your burst, your pink burst area. It's going to stick. Just know it's going to stick. So not bad. Some good healing there. The party is back up to full. And next turn is Andor. Okay. To climb out of pit, it is a DC 20 athletics. Oh, that's really, really hard. Gosh, how can we make that better? I mean, he's probably going to try to climb out up to here. Let's see what is entitled in a climb. I think a climb, what kind of action is that? Escape? I think it's a move action. Let's see what a climb says. A creature that has climb speed. Nope, that's a climb speed. Spider climb. It would be an action, right? Let's look at athletics skills. Okay. Make an athletics check to climb up or down a surface. A creature that has a spider climb speed doesn't have to make athletics checks to climb. Okay. But what kind of action is it? Oh boy. The creature can climb out the surface for the rest of the action using 4 squares of movement. The creature must spend 1 extra space and/or use his action point too. When the climber moves from a vertical surface to a horizontal surface, such as failure by 4 or less, the creature has already climbed, doesn't fall. Failure 5 or more, it falls and takes the damage again. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is a rough surface. That's why it's a DC 20. And taking damage is that, but what kind of action is it? What kind does it require? Move action. It's part of its move action. Okay. All right. I don't know of any other way we can get and/or back up out of here. Unless Perrin, he has a minor action, knack for success. We could retcon back to that. Let's do that. Let's go back. Perrin knows he's down there. He sees Andor's awake. They're at the edge of the pit there. He's got knack for success, but he's already used his minor action. He used it on the healing word to get him back up. So it's going to have to kind of be his next turn. He'll do his minor to the target gains a +4 power bonus to his or her next skill check before the end of the next turn. So let's see if that's going to happen. We'll go back. Andor's turn. He's going to make his move action to try to get up and out of there. I mean, I don't know of anything acrobatics he could do, because it requires an athletics check. But let's check and see again. I always like to consider certain things, because escape from restraints, hold down, reduce falling down. I guess he could do that. He's trained, so he could do stuff to reduce it. It's more in improvising with acrobatics, because maybe like he could, roll around the pit or something and try to jump up and out. Because he could slide down a staircase on a shield, a la Lord of the Rings. Swing from a chandelier, impress onlookers with acrobatic performance. I can't see why this wouldn't, acrobatics wouldn't come into possibly helping. I don't know. Well, on a narrow surface and the surface, creatures may make a new acrobatics check when it's okay. Because it's kind of a balance. It's kind of a balance thing. You know what? I gave it to him off the statue because that was kind of like an athletics feat that he was doing, going around the pit instead of jumping over it. Let's stick with athletics. To climb out of there. He's going to need to do his DC 20. Okay, so with his climb, he is not trained in climb, so he's straight strength, which is going to be a +1 versus his strength. Let's see if Andor, he's got to roll a 19 or a 20 to make this work. I'm worried about it failing. And then he falls down and takes more damage. But let's give it a try. Unless we want to mix this in with a combined thing. I could do that. Combined athletics and acrobatics. And then we could up the DC. Let's look at that real quick. Because this is just kind of a standard 10-foot pit. It's a DC 20 to get up and out of there. Let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can add some sort of flavor to this. You know what? It's at 20 because I really want to try to get his acrobatics in there. Maybe he uses something. It's athletics and acrobatics, but how would I adjust that DC? I mean, a 20 is pretty hard. It's a hard DC. It really, really is. And if we're doing 1d20 roll, we needed a 19 or a 20. Maybe I add 10 to the DC and then, or even add the 11 of the acrobatics to the DC and say we're now at a 31 with a combination of strength and that there. But then it's still, we're still needing that higher one. We're still needing a 19 or a 20 to get that. Oh, goodness. And we're sitting here contemplating how the hell to get out of this pit and what he can do. What's catching hold here? A creature that falls when climbing can make an athletics check to catch hold of something or stop falling. Oh, I see. Gosh, he's just really screwed falling into this pit. Anybody that falls into this pit is pretty screwed, unless they're trained in athletics. Okay, let me get back to this. Athletics. Set the climb table. If a creature can brace itself between two surfaces, it can gain a +5 bonus to the check. I think at this point here, what I'm going to have happen is have him just hold his spot right now. He's got his armor. He knows he's not going to be able to climb out of that pit. I mean, it's a slim chance that he's going to be able to do that. He's going to need Perrin's help with Knack for Success to get that +4. Even when he gets the +4, it's just not enough. A +4 plus his +1 is +5. He's got a better chance at that moment, but we're just going to have to roll with it that way. I can't see any way acrobatics can get in there. Creatures typically use acrobatic skill to maintain their balance while walking on narrow or uneven surfaces, to slip free of a grab or restraints or take less of a fall. Moving across the surface is slippery. Okay, so if a surface is extremely slippery, the DM might require an acrobatics check to cross it. So it's not acrobatics is really not that. I mean, it can go into you can, retcon it to do, well, not retcon, but you can, flavor it up to do something else. Somersault over a creature or, things like that. Swing from a chandelier and press onlookers. But getting out of a pit, sliding down the staircase, yeah, but getting out of the pit, you're stuck. We'll just leave it at that. Andor is just going to hold where he's at, skip his turn. Let's say he readies an action, readies an attack just in case anybody else falls into the pit. We'll just do that. And let's put on his turn here. Add ready attack. Beneficial. Start of his next turn. Save. He's still got his repulsion armor going on, so I guess they'll push him a square away somehow when they're in the bottom of that pit together, but we'll see what happens. All right, Dire Wolf, he's ready to go. Let's ready him in action to, he's slowed, but we'll ready him in action to move out and attack. Or do we want him to delay until after? maybe that's what we do, is we have him delay until after 4. So Hobgoblin number 4 is initiative 6. So let's put the dire wolf and let's delay him to 6. Make it 5. There we go. Because he wants to go right after. There we go. That's a good order. We'll delay him till there. And then Hobgoblin number 2, his readied action's going to go away. Because he did not get, but he is weakened. And obviously he wants to come in. He's going to step forward. And he is going to attack Perrin with his longsword. +8 versus armor class of 17. Did he hit? He missed by 1. Woo. Wait. Hold on 1 second. Weakened. I need to make sure, because look at our Hobgoblin here. A grunt is subject to an effect that a save can end. Let's see if he's weakened or not. I guess it doesn't really matter because he did miss with his attack. When you're weakened, 2 kinds of damage is dealt. This it's to the end of sources until the end of the target's next turn. Okay, so he's weakened to this point. It will end after his turn, which is okay. So we'll go ahead and take that off, because once he gets done, he did miss with this attack. He's no longer weakened. He is in melee with Perrin right now, probably for not much longer. And we'll move on from there because he did not have a save. He doesn't have an ally adjacent to him, so he does not get that bonus. The Grey Wolf's turn. I think that wolf has probably got to get up there and get some biting action going on some things. He tried to get around Andor, and then he just kind of fell into the pit. Unless he wants to jump down into the pit and start eating the little halfling. He's slowed, so he only has a movement of 2. So he wants to get going somewhere. And a save ends. It doesn't have any sort of thing that buffs it from a save ends, so it can basically move. So let's just have it go 1, 2. He's going to move over here, and he could ready a bite attack. Yeah, we'll have him ready a bite attack. He's slowed, and then we'll do his other stuff here. Let's go. Ready, bite. Just in case Andor comes up out of that pit, he can get another nip at him. And let's see if this saves. Same rules as falling. And it is still slowed. Excuse me. It is still slowed at 8. It did not save. But it's got its ready to action. Let's add that on there. And it's the wolf until the start of its next turn. And it's going to be on Andor. How come that didn't add? There it goes. Oh, I guess the target put it on Andor, didn't it? Let's remove that. Okay. All right, next. We make sure that that save is still on. Yeah, it did not save. Harbrek. You know, I think Harbrek needs to get into there and fend off that wolf. Perrin's pretty much able to take care of. Let's have Harbrick go. He's only got a speed of 5. 2. No. He's still got an action point though too. He could double move. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of moving up and around. And then he'll do he'll replace his standard action with a move action and go 1, 2. And he's going to get himself into position for another cleave. And Leslie wants to do a brute strike. He could pull out that brute strike right now. And then maybe cleave right after. Well, no, because he's going to have to take his action point right now to do an attack. He double moved to get over there. And then he's going to have to action point. Does he want a brute strike against that Warcaster? Golly, maybe he needs to get down. He was here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we want to do. We need to get him down there and shut that cage. Oh, did I forget about something? I did. All right. I forgot. I totally forgot. Sorry, I got to go back. Let's put Harbrick back where he was. We need to. That wolf did not save against the sleep effect, is what slowed him. It did not save. So, on the sleep effect, what happens at the end of its turn, you're ready to bite action. And then the sleep effect, he saved, it falls unconscious. So now we got to change all this. I totally forgot about that. And I got to do it on the direwolf's turn too. Unconscious. It's exactly. And then his ready action is going to go away because he's unconscious. So Grey Wolf there. Let's remove that. Remove its ready action. And Mira, on its sleep effect, the target is unconscious instead of their save ends. Okay, so let's do on the Grey Wolf. Let's add another one. Unconscious. Save ends. The source is Mira. And then I need to go back to when the dire wolf did his turn. And when he was slowed there from round 1 to see if he saves. So let's roll on for him. He does not have anything that helps him with saves. So, and he's going to fail too. Okay. All right. So let's change this. And let's make it unconscious. Save ends. We have 2. The wolves are out. That's so beautiful. Okay. Even though the cage is coming open now, it will be open, but that save, there's a save in for it to wake up. The target is unconscious instead of slowed. Save ends. Okay, so it'll be groggy and kind of waking up at the end of its next turn. So it won't get another turn. So the wolf falls asleep. Poor Warcaster's watching everything go all awry here. Now, this may affect Harbrick's turns a little bit better. This is where I think we'll bring him over, do his double move over to here now, instead of going down there, worrying about that, because both the wolves just fell asleep. He would notice that. Mira could say, "Hey, it's working," and go from there. So, Harbrick will use his action point, and he's going to pull out the daily. He is going to pull out the daily and see if he can use his resounding weapon and daze the target too. But first of all, let's do the brute strike. Because with the resounding weapon, use this power when you hit with a weapon. Okay, hit with the weapon. Okay, so first of all, he's going to do his brute strike, +7 versus AC. And the AC of the Warcaster is 17. All right, we got a chance here. Come on, big roll. Yes! Critical hit, boys and girls. This is like the second session Harbrick has pulled a critical hit against the main boss. I think it was, I can't remember if it was the main boss last session, but nice spot to have a critical hit. That's 66 plus 4. Oh my gosh. That is going to be 3640 damage onto this poor Hobgoblin Warcaster, and that is going to kill him. Oh my gosh. Plus the 1d6. So let's do a 1d6 plus 40. That is crazy. Make sure I'm getting that right. 66 plus 4. That is 40. So total is going to be 44 damage on the Warcaster. Oh my gosh. That's a huge hit. And Mr. Warcaster joins his friends in the graveyard. Out just like that. Good hit, Harbrick. Holy mackerel. Way to spend an action point. Great spot for it. I guess he doesn't have to use his resounding weapon at that time, because it doesn't matter if the target's dazed. His brute strike would have knocked him prone. Is that what it does? No, brute strike doesn't knock prone. That was sweeping attack. He doesn't have his minor because he did everything else. He's fine. Oh my gosh, these guys are cleaning house and or sitting in the bottom of the pit. He yelled down, "What you doing, halfling? Get on up here!" Anyway, so nice hit, Harbrick. Nice use of the action point. Max damage. Phew, critical hit. Beautiful. 44 damage. Oh, it's beautiful. He got the 1d6 from his magic weapon, his resounding maul, I think it is. Yeah. Resounding maul +1. The wolves, I think these other hobgoblins are just kind of like, because the wolves are asleep. They're big wolf. The cage is about to get open, and the wolf is unconscious. and all the main big characters are out, and there's just the 2 minion grunts left. So we'll leave Harbrick right there. He can't really mark anybody because he just one-shot killed him. I guess it wasn't a one-shot kill. He had taken some damage prior to, but he got him down to a -9. So we'll leave Harbrick right there. Gives himself a pat on the back in good old dwarf fashion and style. Mira's up next. You know what? I think I'm going to have her do is, I think it's just going to be a magic missile. The question is, can I have her use her staff of magic missile within 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1 square away. She could have actually ended both of the grunts at that point, but I think they're okay. She will take her shot at number 4 with her magic missile. Range 20, plenty of room. It's going to do 7 force damage onto number 4, who's open to the cage, which it will go on his next turn, but we'll go ahead and do the 7 damage onto him. That will send number 4 to the graveyard. And Mira still does have a move action. I guess she could take a action point, and she could shoot the other one too. We'll just have her do that. I'll have her action point at this point, and she'll shoot off another magic missile at number 2. 7 damage there, and he's gone. Perrin's like, thank you. I didn't want to deal with that. And then Mira does have a move action, so we'll have her go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over here. And nothing else minor. Nothing else I can do. She's still got her heroic effort. She did just use her magic missile. She's okay. Moving on. Dire Wolf, number 1, is unconscious. Can't do anything. The cage is now open. Let's see if he wakes up or not, because it's going to be on Mira's turn. Source was Mira from the sleep, so let's see if it's going to wake up and be able to take action next round. Straight D20 roll. And it's not. It still stays unconscious. I don't think there is a secondary roll. It just save ends. It still remains unconscious. So it's unconscious. It's going to stay that way. Save ends. It did not save. Perrin is next. I think we're going to have Perrin do his knack for success. Let's use that. It's going to give a +4 power bonus to his or her opponent. To target is you or one ally within the burst. So Andor down in the pit feels more athletic, I guess is the word, to get up and out of that pit with the knack for success. The target gains a +4 power bonus to his or her next skill check made before the end of his or her next turn. So he had a ready to action. Let's go ahead. He still got his beacon going. That's fine. Let's move him around 5 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get him down here. Kind of keeping an eye on that unconscious wolf. He does have a standard action he could use at the moment. I mean, I don't think the heroes are really wanting to kill these unaligned wolves. Their masters are dead. Everybody's dead. They kind of just need to get that cage closed again while this thing is unconscious. Andrew's up next. Then the wolf has a chance to save, but it's not going to be able to take actions. But I guess Harbrecht could move around and shut the cage. And begin the shutting of the process. Let's see how it works out. Perrin has a minor left. Nobody needs. He used his minor. He used his move. He does have a standard left. He doesn't have anything ranged that he could slide it. They're unconscious. So let's have him ready an attack with his standard action, because I think that's just the standard, is to ready an attack. Yep, ready in action. So he's going to ready an attack. Upon the wolf, the gray wolf, just in case it comes awake. And it's going to be the start of Source's next turn, and the target. And I'll just leave it Perrin. Beneficial. Okay, on from there. Andor, with this now a nice +4, he's going to try to climb out. He's got 4 plus his +1. All right, going against an athletics 20. He's going to need a 15. Oh, it rolled right off the 18. He misses it by 7. Oh, he's going to take some falling damage. Let's see this. Athletics. A failure by 5 or more. So the 20, he missed it by 7. If the creature was already climbing, it falls, but can try to catch itself, see below. So it's going to try to catch itself. It also, he could use acrobatics to lessen the fall. A creature that falls while climbing can make an athletics check to catch hold of something to stop from falling. It's a free action. See climb table 5, uneven surface. It's another DC 20. Does that parent's thing go till the end of the turn? Next for success on their next skill check before the end of his or next turn. So that goes away for Andor. He used it. He did fail. Oh my gosh, he rolled an 8. It rolled right off that 18. That would have been up and out of the pit. Let's check out acrobatics to see about lessening the fall. I'm sorry, acrobatics, not athletics. Acrobatics. Because there was something on there. Reducing fall damage. If a creature that has a training in acrobatics falls, it can make an acrobatics check to reduce the amount. Okay, well, how do we know what the DC is? Check. The check is response to falling. Okay, the amount of falling damage that the creature takes is reduced by 1/2. Okay, so let's make his DC +1 against 20. Ooh. That's going to be 12. And then the damage would be 110, 1d10, which is 9. Ooh. Okay. The amount of falling damage that the creature takes is reduced by 1/2 the check result, rounded down. Okay, for example, swings open, falls. 21/2. Okay, so if he's trained, he should just take half the damage. Okay, so we'll just go half damage. What is it? Rounded down. Okay, 4 damage onto Andor. Falls back down into the pit. Uses his athletics, his acrobatics ability to kind of catch himself again. He's ready to action. Is going to come off. His repulsion armor is still there. He's like, guys, stuck down here. Somebody send down some rope. Okay. Gray Wolf's turn. Is he going to save? This could change the encounter here. Let's roll it. 1d20 straight up. That is a save. He is now back in action. This was at the end of his turn, but he is no longer unconscious. He saved. Let's remove that on there. He can now take actions within his turn. The wolf's kind of shaking his head, doesn't see its master around, only sees the guys and is like, oh, shit. They're going to call out to Harbrek to shut that cage. I guess Perrin, the dire wolf's going to come up, but he's got to get over there to shut that cage. Can he get there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, he can. He'll move there, and then he'll use his standard action to close cage. He'll throw the lever, and then it will be at the start of his next turn. And basically, the cage is starting to come back down now. So I don't know. I guess if the dire wolf wakes up, maybe I'll give it some sort of a skill check to see if it can get out in the time, because it's not too far off before it can come back around. We'll see what happens. No minor actions to do there, so let's do that. Mira's turn. She sees the wolf is awake. Gosh, She doesn't want to slide him down into the pit or anything. And he's not slowed anymore. Oh, but wait a second. I need to have Perrin's ready to action go off. The wolf woke up. He's got a ready to action. Let's have him do a ranged attack. Lance of Faith, +4 versus reflex. Now, I would say that this wolf is prone too. It is prone because it just woke up from being unconscious. So let's put the gray wolf on there. Let's add prone to it right now. And we'll make that to the start. Well, it's got basically, it's sustained. We'll make it special. Yeah, we'll make that from Mira. Okay, it's prone. So let's do Perrin's ready to action Lance of Faith. +4 versus reflex, reflex of 15. That's a critical hit. Boom! Yes! Okay, Lance of Faith, 8 + 4 is 12 radiant damage. 12 radiant damage on the wolf. Really, really wanted to try to keep the wolf alive. I didn't want him to have to kill the wolves. But the wolf sees its master dead on the floor, and it's snarling. It's getting up. Oh man, critical hit. Oh, there's also magical damage on there too, if I remember correctly. Yep, plus 1d6. Let's roll it. 1. An extra 1 on there. Okay, it's not even bloodied, but still good turn there. Perrin will take his ready to action off. We'll move it off on here. He's still got his beacon for his healing right now. He's like, the wolf's awake. The wolf's awake. Mira seeing that, she's going to target the wolf. They didn't want to kill it. They really, really, really didn't want to kill it. Would have been really, really nice if they could have just got it and slid it into the cage with the other one and then just shut it and left him there. But I guess, then they'll die of starvation. I don't know. Now they got to fight it because it is going to attack. What does Mira want to do? Oh, goodness. She's already done her sleep. She does have her acid arrow she could do. That's pretty good, but there's not the secondary attack. There's not really anything else going on there, so we'll just leave that there. She could Scorching Burst to hit just the wolf. But I think she's going to Ray of Frost to keep it slowed, so it can't move out and around. So we'll do a +5 versus Fortitude of 14 on the Grey Wolf. Ooh, just hit. Fortitude 14, yet hit by 1. So the Grey Wolf will take 1d6 + 5. Oh, that's max damage. 11 damage on the Grey Wolf. Oh, it's getting hammered. You should have stayed unconscious. It's now bloodied. It's got 14 hit points left. It's howling. It's on the ground. Actually, I think maybe it didn't hit. Now that I think about this, prone. Yeah. +2 to all defenses. So that would have made its... Yep, it didn't. I got to take that 11 damage off. It didn't hit. It didn't hit it because when it's prone, creatures grants combat advantage, but against ranged attacks, it gets a +2 bonuses to all defenses. So its fortitude was actually 16. So Mira is able to do that, but it does not hit, and she doesn't get the slowed on it. That's all right. But it's the wolf's turn, so I think I'll have her move back over. 6 back over to her corner. Like, the wolf's awake. The dire wolf is unconscious still. The cage is going back down. If it doesn't save, it'll get shut back in its cage. Okay, let's roll 1d20 and see what happens. It stays unconscious. Thank you. We're able to at least save one animal in this game. It still stays unconscious. It's out, and they're going to be able to get the cage down onto it. Perrin's turn. I think he's going to want to get away from this thing a little bit. Seeing that the wolf is not getting up and the cage is still going down and almost closed again. Let's have him move his 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's have him attack this prone wolf again. He's got +2 to his defenses. But that's only against ranged attacks. So he could do his grasping shards, area burst 1 within 10, and get it to be slowed again. Harbrek is close to it, but then the Harbrek is going to be able to take care of the wolf. So let's grasping shards onto the direwolf, +4. So basically this is going to be radiant damage. It is an area burst. Let's put the pink out again. Area burst 1, which he can put it like that. He can plan it like that. Area burst 1 within 10. Each creature in the burst. That way it just gets the wolf. And it is not, the prone doesn't matter because it's not a ranged attack. Even though it is an area burst ranged, it does not have the range word on there. So it's going to be +4 versus fortitude. The gray wolf's fortitude is 14. And he's going to miss. Just like that. Enemy scores a critical hit. Minor actions, nothing he can do. Triggered actions, you hit an enemy with an attack made with a holy symbol. That is a holy symbol, but it didn't hit. It's only 9. That was not even close. You hit an enemy with an attack made with a holy symbol. You gain a +1 bonus to your next attack roll or save throw. Blah, blah. Nope. Not going. Zone goes away. And he's like, he's still got his beacon of hope going on there, but he hasn't had to use any healing power. Next one is Andor. Andor's kind of stuck. I guess we'll just have him try to do his athletics check again. +1, just try to see if he can get that 20. And depends on how much falling damage he takes, that he could take some damage. Let's try it. You never know. You never know. Close. That would have helped. That would have been great if he had the +4. 17. This is with 3, so he does not take any falling damage going back. He's like, guys, need a rope. Need a rope. Which he's not going to be able to do anything until he gets out of there. He kind of just got stuck in that pit within the first or second round. And all right. Obviously, the Grey Wolf's getting bombarded. It's not slowed, but it's going to have to take its move action to stand up from prone. And then let me take that off. Basically, I think I'll just have it ready in action for anybody that comes in the melee. because nothing really else it can do. I guess it could take another action and get in. So who does it want to go after? The people that are shooting at it? I would think so, or Harbreck right there. Let's do a D6 roll off, and we will say Perrin is odds and Harbreck is evens. It is going after Perrin. It did not like what that mage and that cleric were trying to do at it, so it's going to move at speed 8. 1, 2, 3, and it gets over there and to Perrin's face and wants to start attacking. Harbreck, the cage closes down. Unconscious direwolf is now sleeping soundly in an enclosed cage again. But Harbreck is close to the cage. He could take a claw attack if it attacked, but he notices the wolf, so he's going to head back on over. He can get into combat advantage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he is going to do, I think his, he already did his brute strike. Oh, I nailed that with a nice freaking hit. Let's have him do his reaping strike, pretty much. +7 versus AC. Against the AC of the poor gray wolf of 16. And then he can daze it too with his resounding weapon if he needs to. Oh, he misses. Kind of has a change of heart there a minute, attacking an animal or something. I don't know. He misses with a natural 1. It kind of holds up his attack as he's hitting, and does not follow through with his reaping strike. And the wolf is able to kind of dodge away from it. Even with his +2 from combat advantage flanking, it's not going to help. A natural 1 is always a miss. Nothing else there. Mira. She already used her sleep spell. She doesn't have anything else she could do to try to, knock this thing out again. So she's just going to have to try to kill it. Soften it up a little bit. I guess she could use a magic missile in between. She could do her Ray of Frost to slow it again. Her range 10 is no longer prone. She could do her Acid Arrow, but then the secondary attack just doesn't do anything. But she could do some serious damage. Let's try that. Let's do her Acid Arrow daily. Let's use it. +5 versus reflex. And the reflex of the wolf is at 15. Oh, just rolled off that 20. And she's going to hit it. Oh, that could have been critical damage to it. That would have done a lot. 2d8 +5. Rolling big. 12 damage onto the gray wolf. It's bloodied now. And with Acid Arrow, ongoing 5 acid damage. Save ends. Woo! And she could make an Acid Arrow secondary attack, but the Acid Arrow second attack is Area Burst 1 centered on each creature in the burst other than the primary target. So, other than the primary target. Each creature in the burst. Ooh, that's nasty. Make the secondary attack. Oh no. She's got to make the secondary attack. Basically, the primary target is the wolf. And she's going to be making a secondary attack. Each creature in the burst other than the primary target against her own fellow people. So it's going to be a 15 versus their reflexes. So let's start with Perrin first. His reflex is 10. That's going to be a hit. And then we'll roll it again against Harbrick. His reflex is 11. Oh no, that's a critical hit. Oh no, what are you doing, Mira? I didn't think about that one. It's not friendly. It's not a friendly spell. So 1d8 plus 5. Perrin is going to take, I can't see underneath it, 7 acid damage. Oh shit. And basically 5 ongoing. And then 13 damage on Harbrick. He can take it though. It's the ongoing part that's the bad part. Oh my gosh. 18 hit points. What were you thinking, Mira? You weren't thinking at all is what's happening. And then 1d6 from the critical hit too. Oh, what is that? That's a 4. 4 more on poor Harbrick. Bloody human? It's like Bloody's Harbrick. Oh, what are you doing? And she's like, I didn't know what the spell was going to do. Okay, so now, all right, the Grey Wolf is taking ongoing damage, and it's going to be 5 acid. And basically a save ends on that. And then Perrin is taking, oh gosh, ongoing 5 acid. I'm going to copy that so I can put it on Harbrick too. Oh my gosh, watch Harbrick die from Mira. And poor Harbrick got hit the hardest, critically hit, by the way. Save ends. Oh my goodness. Our own person. Mira, what were you thinking? All right, she used both her acid arrows, but she hit the wolf pretty hard too. Dire Wolf, let's see if it becomes conscious again here. Well, Mira doesn't have anything else she could do, does she? Let's go back. Because that acid arrow was a standard, then she got the free action. Nothing on minors. Nope. Moving on. Dire Wolf, roll the d20. It wakes up. Yep. And it's prone. And it's like, wait a second. Why is the cage closed? So let's change this now to prone. And then let's put special. And it's on the Dire Wolf. Okay. He's stuck in the cage anyway. Perrin takes his ongoing 5. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yep. And he's now down to 19. And he is... Okay, now he's going to do his healing strike upon the wolf. Hopefully he can hit it. Because him and Perrin need some healing after getting blasted by the stinking mage. +3 versus AC. +2, so that's a +5 for the flanking. And healing strike +5 versus AC of the Grey Wolf is 16. Here we go. That's going to be a hit. Nice. Okay, so healing strike 2d8 +2. Ooh, nice. Almost max damage. 14. 13 exactly. Sorry. On the Grey Wolf will be enough to kill it. Damage. And the poor Grey Wolf will join its comrades into the graveyard. And then Perrin, with his healing strike, You mark the target, it's dead. And one ally within 5 squares can spend a healing surge. Let's go ahead and have Harbrek spend a healing surge. He's going to regain 7 hit points. Kind of bop him up a little bit just in case. I mean, we are kind of out of combat right here. They were able to actually, yeah, then he does that. He also does another 5 on Harbrek too because of the beacon. So Harbrek's back up, going off pretty well. Oh, and another 3 from the healing. I forgot about that. That almost brings Harbrek back up to full. 2 away. Anyway, we'll go ahead and take off the ongoing damage because they'll able to stop in combat here, get themselves healed, scold Mira for that, and she'll be, I'll understand better next time I use the acid arrow. At this point, Harbeck will be able to throw down a rope. We'll be able to get Andor up and out of there, and they will decide what they want to do with the dire wolf, maybe going back into town now that they've dispatched all of the goblins and the hobgoblins. Didn't know there was hobgoblins because it was goblins that were terrorizing everything, into the village, and then maybe have the village decide what they want to do with it. If they want to, to pretty much coup de grace in its cage, or do they want to free it, let it back out into wild, and let it go live its life without the control of a hobgoblin? Trying to control it. Obviously, there was some sort of reasons why they kept it in a cage, not out. It must not have been completely trained. So, maybe they put the direwolf back to sleep and they carry him out and they release him in the wild somewhere, and he kind of just wakes up and goes and lives a free, happy life. I don't know. that sounds good to me. I kind of like that. With that, our heroes have been successful, and they will have survived this goblin lair that was an old temple underneath the village of Harken that the poor town folks were actually getting, smashed left and right by these goblins, getting more bold and bold as they were going through. But I think they did pretty well. Harbrick came through with a good critical hit at the perfect timing to take the war priest out. But good job with that. This will end the Village of Harbrick, the blue box starter set adventure, the 3 encounters that are on there, and that's kind of how it went with the characters and everything. And until next time, I thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.